can Lokpal work effectively without political will? When we are in opposition, we are very serious to tackle corruption. But when we are in government, we seems to be just opposite. When matter comes to politically sensitive cases, then CBI lacks professionalism. Sincerity, commitment, respect, these things are of past. We were talking about Lokpal. So, let us see how it is not. When we say paper tiger, so why we say paper tiger? The first thing is that it cannot take suo motu. Suo motu cases cannot be taken. So, then it limits its power. This serious limitation. This it is serious limitation we can consider. If we take called CVC, CBI, CVC, CBI, even NIA we can say that they do not have this, they have suo motu, means they can act on their own, but an institution that we are trying to make for dealing corruption, that institution does not have that power. This, it means that unless complaints are filed, it cannot take action, cannot investigate. Let us take that whether people will file complaint on sensitive matters. Will people file on sensitive matters? This, especially those matters which are directly related to government, because you know what will happen against that person. If the day any person files complaint, do you think enforcement directorate will leave that person? Will he be spared? Not at all. You can see how a movie is made in, let us say, South India, Mohanlal related, and there is enforcement directorate raid on the director of the movie. This you can say that the society is so biased, we can say today, it is highly biased. This, that in past biasness can be considered something, let us say that biasness can be in past, let us say that a bit hidden, but today that biasness is open. That kind of society we can say. So, this is what let us say that limitation, why it has not been given. When there was demand, Jan Lokpal bill. You should know India against corruption movement happened, and there was Jan Lokpal bill. Jan Lokpal bill was drafted by India against corruption movement. Interestingly, let us say those who were part of that movement, they are in government. This you should know. Still they do not provide that. This. So, that way we can consider serious limitation. Next, investigation. Investigation bodies, as of now it does not have, let us say constituent, it does not have director investigation, director prosecution, so both are vacant. And it has been told that as long as it constitutes, CBI will work as investigating body. So, basically it is dependent on CBI. Now, the question again we have told that CBI, even Ranjan Gogoi says that when matter comes to politically sensitive cases, then CBI lacks professionalism. This, basically let us say challenge is not that you have to investigate a corruption related to opposition government, a corruption related to something, any small office. What about major corruptions, mega corruptions? This. So, in those cases again whether CBI will act, this you should know that. So, then it will remain doubtful, let us say that. This we can consider. So, these are two major limitations on Lokpal. This two major limitations on Lokpal, let us say, which will make it more as paper tiger. it appears to be more powerful on paper, even if it has been given independence. Why? So you have to know the cases related to CBI. Let's say when CBI inquiry is ordered, it can be ordered, let's say Supreme Court, High Courts, they give CBI investigation. In that case, largely what CBI does, CBI frustrate them. If you read history of these things, executive versus judiciary tussle, they try to frustrate each other. You know how they frustrate. So you know that the governor was indicted by Supreme Court, still governor behaves something else in one university. This. तो बेसिकली आजकल जो चल रहा है कि लेट्स से कि यू गो दिस वे, वी विल गो दिस वे, दिस. सो सिंसियरिटी, कमिटमेंट, रिस्पेक्ट, दीज थिंग्स आर ऑफ पास्ट. तो जस्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट इंडिक्टेड गवर्नर on 10 bills of Tamil Nadu. Then he goes to give a lecture in one university, and there he tells to the students to utter Jai Shri Ram. This. Jai Shri Ram uttering is not, let's say it is the name of God that you take, not a problem, right? Anyhow, right, this. So this way you will find that the same state, I guess not same state, Tamil Nadu, let's say, so you know that there was issue of hijab ban, this, it should not be allowed. This. So many a time we are having dual standard, we are not sure what to do, what to allow, what not to allow. Anyhow, what I am trying to say is that the CBI, that it is like frustrating. What governor is doing is, he is not, let's say, softened by the judgment of Supreme Court. No, he is belligerent. This. Yes, this we can say that. So that kind of environment you have. So then when CBI inquiry is ordered by them, it tries to frustrate them, and finally it files a closure report. It is very popular, closure report. Yes. What is closure report? It tells to the court that there is no any evidence, the case should be closed. Right, this. So, let's say again, Supreme Court and High Courts, they are handicapped if CBI does not want to investigate. And why CBI will not investigate? You know it better. So, even if Lokpal gives order for CBI investigation, you know what is going to happen. This. So, that is how it is said that Lokpal, public problems, the question was asked, no matter how strong Lokpal is, it cannot address the problems, moral problems of public affairs. Yes. Moral problems of public affairs. Moral problems is that in our society, let's say that first is when we are in a position, we are very serious to tackle corruption. But when we are in government, right, we seems to be just opposite. Beat any such party in power. So, can Lokpal work effectively without political will? Not at all. And then so far already we have given you that what we can say, even parliamentary panel says that it is far from satisfaction. Far from satisfactory, let's say the 2019, 2024, already 5 years completed, plus 2013 if you take, already 10 years completed. This. It means that officially, effectively, we do not have any effective anti-corruption institution, even if we have 3 institutions to tackle corruption. That is how. This will create hopelessness, disillusionment among people. We say ease of living. We have to make people life ease of living. Have we eased the life of people? This, you know it better. Right? Yesterday someone approached in my office talking about admission of his children in his schools, and you know how common people struggle. You may have also struggled, your family may have also struggled, we all have struggled if you talk about educational institutions. So I wondered, I was of view that ki EWS category easily you get admission. He told ki no, schools don't take admission even in EWS category. Yes. They may be taking, right, they may be taking bribes, they may be taking donation money, right? Why we don't change this, right? We have so many powerful chief ministers, क्या क्या लंबे लंबे speech देते हैं, ठीक है. But one basic thing I regretted कि then I generally often I find कि most of the people are struggling in their day-to-day life. Yes, you can say that. And then logo ko people, let's say they need to make their life better. This you can say. And that I don't find the change. Even if we may have achieved so many things. Right. We may have second biggest road network, yes, we can appreciate. But ease of living if you take, so he says that ki no, they don't take admission. This, they don't take admission. And one, let's say, ki person, a common man cannot afford to, let's say, admit children in private schools. You know it better. This. So, the question is that ki then I told, basically there are two, our ex-student who are serving in nearby Delhi. So, he told that ki if they will help, so there can be possibility of admission. Right. I told him that you talk to them, right, through any office person, I think they will help you. This. So, the question is basically he wanted to get his one son admitted in Kendriya Vidyalaya, but there is no seat in Kendriya Vidyalaya. So, he has talked to that one our student who is posted in Noida, but let's say that there is no seat, so she told that I cannot help. Then I gave idea that you get admitted through EWS category in private school. This. This is what you can say common man struggles. And this we find that it's not one person, we find all people, this is what we'll find this. So the question is that you talk about dealing corruption, etc. But the question is still people struggle, let's say on day-to-day basis to get basic things delivered. This. That is how, let's say, that challenge, that is how it was also included. How to change, what to do, God knows. This is what you can say this. The few lines will talk on this, let's write. It is considered paper tiger. It is considered paper tiger largely due to above two factors. Above two factors which make Lokpal handicapped. That is, even if it is independent institution, in actual practice, it is not empowered to act. Here comes moral problems of public affairs. Moral problems of public affairs. Public affairs. this. So let's write a subheading. No matter how strong Lokpal is, no matter how strong Lokpal is, it cannot address moral problems of public affairs. Moral problems of public affairs. This moral problems of public affairs. Yes. So let's say the moral problems of public affairs are right. First, lack of political will. It is the most important problem. That when parties are in opposition, they show seriousness to tackle corruption. But when they are serious enough to tackle corruption, but when they are in government, they have a scant regard for accountability. They have scant, S-C-A-N-T, scant regard for accountability. राइट. आज पोस्टर लगा है सही कई जगह कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और वो B.R. अम्बेडकर का. तो सुबह मैं वॉक कर रहा था तो मेरे मन में ऐसे ही सोच आया कि मतलब अगर उस लैंग्वेज में बोलूँ जो मेरी लैंग्वेज माइंड में आया कि ये साले डेली कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की बाजा बजाते हैं और आज बधाई राइट पोस्टर लगाए हैं. सॉरी तो मेरे मन में ऐसे सोच है. ठीक तो they do you know that constitution की ऐसे की तैसे and they will do all that is called symbolic role. Let's say that society symbolic role and show, let's say that okay, people get easily hurt, you know that ki karni sena this that way they are doing lots of things. So they get easily hurt by history, but they are not getting hurt by status in society, right? कि किसी का एडमिशन नहीं हो रहा है, कोई स्ट्रगल कर रहा है डे टू डे लाइफ में, किसी को रिस्पेक्ट नहीं है. But by these things we don't get hurt.
This admission problem is very bad, sir. Even the good schools principal ask way to director of education also. They don't easily meet these high-fi schools. The director of education secretary also wait till 10 years to meet that principal.
Yes. I don't like, personally I don't like. I quit education, sorry to say that. Right. So I was crusader in my time, so, but these are past.
They don't do admission also if director of education says.
तो don't take admission, क्या ज़रूरत है?
अगर सिफारिश जाती है सर नहीं लेते बहुत इजीली, सेक्रेटरी तक मना कर देते हैं.
Yes, this is how let's say it's आप बोल रहे थे ना कि बॉलीवुड माफिया, अरे जो डे टू डे लाइफ में माफिया है उससे फाइट करो ना.
School mafia is very good.
राइट, इट इज़ नॉट माफिया, इट्स ए सिस्टम. आई विल टेल इट इज़ द सिस्टम कि यू डू नॉट हैव रेगुलेशन. मतलब हमारे देश में गवर्नमेंट ही नहीं रेगुलेट कर सकती. दे आर बिगर देन गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेटरी स्टैंडर्ड्स. हाउ कैन यू नॉट रेगुलेट एजुकेशन? How they can be unregulated? They want not to be regulated. How? Why? Right. आप एक तरफ चाहते हो कि नवरात्रि में ये बंद हो जाए, ठीक है, ड्राई डे रहे पूरे स्टेट में. कितना हार्श है ये, राइट, कि पूरे स्टेट में ड्राई डे होना चाहिए. 2 अक्टूबर है, बट जो उससे ज़्यादा हार्मफुल है लोगों के लिए, आप दे रिमेन अनरेगुलेटेड. तो मुझे तो मतलब नहीं. आई डोंट लाइक एकेडमिक्स. राइट, मैं तो बोलूँगा कि मत जाओ स्कूल, मत जाओ कॉलेज, छोड़ दो यूनिवर्सिटी सब. उससे क्या होने वाला है? राइट, बिकॉज लार्जली यू हैव टू लर्न योर सेल्फ. द ओनली थिंग इज दैट यू गेट ए डिग्री. वो भी अगर आपको जॉब नहीं चाहिए, जैसे मुझे जॉब नहीं चाहिए था, ठीक है, तो मुझे तो मान लो जॉब नहीं मिलेगा अगर जब मैं जाऊँ तो, इसलिए कि डिग्री नहीं है तो जॉब क्या मिलेगा. ठीक है, तो कोई जॉब नहीं देगा, इसलिए कि यू नो दैट कि तो ग्रेजुएशन के बाद मैंने क्विट कर दिया. मैंने आई स्वेयर्ड कि आई वुड नेवर कम टू यूनिवर्सिटी एंड कॉलेजेस. यस, बिकॉज आई डिड नॉट लाइक दैट फ्यूडल कल्चर. जो फ्यूडल कल्चर, यूनिवर्सिटी इज टेम्पल ऑफ लर्निंग, बट इट शुड बी रैशनल, बट इट इज सो फ्यूडल. यस, तो एनी हाउ दैट्स वाई इवन वी डोंट गिव मोर एम्फेसिस ऑन आवर डॉटर एजुकेशन. ठीक है, नॉर्मल स्कूल शी शुड रीड, दैट्स ऑल. We don't have anything कि this should be taught in the best school, not at all. This, so that way, but yes, this is parents also. It's two-way process. I will tell you that. Parents also want that कि their children should be educated in the best school. तो they are also equally, I will tell you that, कि responsible. कभी वो protest नहीं करते, इसलिए कि जो rich class है उसका need fulfill हो जाता है. सबसे बड़ा चीज़ है ना कि जो रिच क्लास है ना, तो उसका नीड फुलफिल हो जाता है. तो मेजॉरिटी मिडिल क्लास है वो स्ट्रगल करता है, लेकिन वो अपने आप में डिवाइडेड है. इतने कास्ट, रिलीजन, कम्युनिटी, इतना वो डिवाइडेड है कि उसमें कभी यूनिटी होगा ही. और जब तक वो इसके ऊपर नहीं आएगा वो फाइट नहीं कर सकता है. एंड वी अंडरस्टैंड इट बेटर. आपको पता ही है दिस. यस, पेरेंट्स दे हैव सीरियस स्ट्रगल फॉर एजुकेशन. वी नो इट. कोई पार्क में मिला था 2 साल पहले की बात है, कोई लेडी ऐसे ही, तो शी डिड नॉट गेट एडमिशन ऑफ हर ग्रैंड सन, आई गेस ग्रैंड सन और ग्रैंड डॉटर, यू कैन से दैट. तो शी स्टार्टेड शेयरिंग कि कोई स्कूल बता दो, मैं तो थक चुकी हूँ, दैट दिस दैट, राइट, नहीं हो रहा है एडमिशन, क्या करें. दिल्ली की बात. दिस, बट इफ यू गो टू वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज, स्कूल रीच आउट टू यू. दिस इज नो दैट. दे यू डोंट हैव टू गो, दे रीच आउट टू यू. आपको जस्ट अप्लाई करना है, दे विल रीच आउट. इट्स रिलैक्स्ड. दिस, and here you have to be on your toes, right. And then sleepless nights for parents. I say कि parents and children both start studying together. मैं sarcastically बोलता हूँ, बाकी education time पे बताएंगे when we'll teach. Right. So Veer Sanghvi, who was once the chief editor of the Hindustan Times, once he wrote कि how admission process was different in India and other countries. He applied for Delhi University. He did not get chance to get admission. बिकॉज दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में आपको पता है पैसे पहले कैसे एडमिशन होता था, अब तो एंट्रेंस हुआ है, पता नहीं अब कैसे हो रहा है. तो आई एम नॉट दैट मच अवेयर, बट पास्ट वाला वी नो दैट कि हाउ कट ऑफ 100%, 99%, पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, दिस जिसका 95 भी है उसका एडमिशन नहीं हुआ. दिस इज हाउ इट इज. सो आप इसी से अंदाजा लगाओ कि जो स्टेट बोर्ड का है तो पहले ही कट गया. जो स्टेट बोर्ड का होगा वो कभी 90 क्रॉस तो करेगा नहीं. स्टेट बोर्ड एग्जामिनेशन हाईएस्ट विल बी 85%, 80% एज फार एज माई नॉलेज इज कंसर्न. राइट राइट. तो अगर मान लो कि वो स्टेट टॉपर भी है तो लेस चांस है दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में. राइट. ऑफ कॉलेज ऑफ हिज चॉइस और हर चॉइस. दिस यू शुड नो दैट. सच आप ये सब चीज़ें हमें क्यों नहीं हॉट करता है? वाई डोंट वी फील हॉट बाई दीज थिंग्स? राइट. दिस जहाँ पे कि करोड़ों लोग डे टू डे में उनका डिग्निटी अफेक्ट हो रहा है. दिस अगर किसी चाइल्ड कोई बच्चा है वो जो टॉप कर रहा है उसको एडमिशन नहीं मिल रहा है तो वो ह्यूमिलिएटेड फील करता है ना. दिस ह्यूमिलिएटेड फील, तो वो होता है हॉट होना. दिस एनी हाउ दिस इज हाउ ईज ऑफ लिविंग आई विल टेल दैट कि दिस एंड दिस एडमिशन प्रोसेस द वे इट इज एनी हाउ. सो this Delhi University, yes, Beer Sangvi, he did not get admission in Delhi University. He applied for admission in UK. Yes. So once he applied, colleges reached to him. Right? They started counseling him, कि see, you can get admission in this course, in this college, in this course, in that college, like this. These are the options. Quite relaxed. He took admission because he did not get admission in Delhi University. This. तो इसलिए कि कभी एक टाइम था कि काफ़ी चर्चा में होता था दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का एडमिशन, नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ गुड थिंग बट बिकॉज ऑफ एक्सट्रीम लेवल ऑफ कट ऑफ दिस एंड पेरेंट्स एंड दिस एंड दैट यू कैन सी दिस. Anyhow, just we told about this is how it is. Anyhow, let's write on this. What we are writing? Political. Yes, yes. Political will. So they scan regard for accountability. Next. Next. There is. Weak moral standard in society. It depends on opportunity. And situations rather than strong moral standards to reject corruption. Next, culture of acceptance of corruption. Acceptance of corruption in society in general and administration in particular. That it is well known that there is a rate of 30 to 40% across states for projects and contracts across states, for projects and contracts and its share is distributed among public servants from bottom to top. Next, electoral malpractices. Especially M3 problem. And therefore, Lokpal operates in an ecology of corruption. Or corrupt environment. Hence, it is difficult to expect that it may be very effective in actual practice. The only hope can be its activism. Activism, like activism by CAG under Vinod Rai, activism by CAG under Vinod Rai, activism by Election Commission, under TN session. This under TN session, right? So that is how we can consider this. So that was the moral problem, let's say. So you know that कि जब तक कोई एक्टिविज़म नहीं करता है बहुत ही मुश्किल है कि वो चेंज होगा. एक्टिविज़म इज़ नीडेड एवरीवेयर. मान लो कोई डीएम है और वो चाहे तो अपने डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जो चीज़ों को सुधार सकता है. जब तक वो है वो भी काफ़ी एफर्ट्स लगाना पड़ेगा, राइट? एफर्ट्स लगाना पड़ेगा एंड देन कि ट्रांसफ़र थोड़ा सा रुकना चाहिए. नहीं तो अगर वो डायरेक्ट हिट किया है और ट्रांसफ़र हो गया तो भी नहीं. इसलिए कि ये क्या है ना कि इट्स कनेक्शन, द कनेक्शन दैट इज इन, लेट्स से दिस, तो द वे यू हैव कनेक्शंस, लेट्स से दैट हर आदमी के पास कनेक्शंस हैं. दिस तो दोज कनेक्शंस आर वेरी सीरियस, आई विल टेल यू. वो इतने सीरियस है कि कई बार आप हार जाते हैं. दिस I will tell कि पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस वी हैव. तो कई बार आप हार जाते हैं कि छोड़ दो, लाइक कि इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू रन थिंग्स ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ, लेट्स से कि ऑनेस्टी, लेट्स से, और ट्रांसपेरेंसी यू कैन से, और लेट्स से दैट कि प्योर बाय फॉलोइंग लॉ. इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. दिस बिकॉज आई टोल्ड यू दैट कि टेंडर कंडीशंस आर रिटन as per the person who wants to get the tender. and tender conditions are written to make make others ineligible, and let those conditions suit to a person who is getting that tender. Right. This on paper it will appear fair. आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा. It's fair. Right. So that is how it is being done. And how it is possible? The person who writes tender, the person who wants to get tender, nexus. This. तो बहुत ही चैलेंजिंग है लेट्स से कि हाउ यू विल डील इट. दिस इज पब्लिक अफेयर, मोरल प्रॉब्लम ऑफ पब्लिक. वो तो क्लास में हम इतना बात भी कर रहे हैं, बाहर आप बात करोगे तो सब बेवकूफ़ी समझेंगे. आउटसाइड इफ यू टॉक अबाउट ऑनेस्टी एटसेट्रा तो लोग बोलेंगे क्या सुबह सुबह हो गया है तुमको. तो ऑनेस्टी की बात करना भी अब एक तरीके से डू दैट. राइट. And ethics paper, you know that. Ethics paper is learned unethical way. Right. Is there any benefit? Right. So that is what situation. Anyhow, ये इसी से अंदाज़ा लगता है कि हम लोग इतने ज़्यादा इमोरल हो चुके हैं कि वो मोरल होने में बहुत ही टाइम लगेगा. This it will take lots of time because the journey has gone quite ahead, the society etc. Because justifications है उसके, we do justify, each person is justified. That is the moral problem. People justify corruption, that is the moral problem. ठीक है, देना ही पड़ेगा. हम ऊपर वाले को क्या जवाब देंगे? ऊपर जवाब देना होता है. रेट सैलरी से क्या होता है आजकल? ठीक है. रेट मैं ही एक तो हूँ नहीं. ठीक है, मतलब हमने ही ईमानदारी का चोला थोड़े पहना है. सॉरी टू से. तो ये जो सारा जस्टिफिकेशन है this in our society. तो ये जो सारा जस्टिफिकेशन है, लाइक कि आई विल टेल, जो एक हमारा स्टूडेंट है, वो ही इज़ लेबर सुपरिंटेंडेंट इन बिहार. तो ही कीप शेयरिंग ना. तो उसको तो उसके फादर इन लॉ ने भी बोला कि यू आर नॉट लाइक दैट, तुम चालाक टाइप के नहीं हो. बहुत ही बेवकूफ़ टाइप के ऑफिसर हो. तो कई बार होता है कि यू स्टार्ट फेसिंग, इसलिए कि फैमिली मेम्बर्स भी चाहते हैं. राइट. इसलिए कि बाकी लोगों के लाइफ स्टाइल, उसके घर में भी एक सोफ़ा भी नहीं है. सॉरी टू से दिस, अब ले लिया होगा, हो सकता है, पूछा नहीं मैंने काफ़ी दिनों से. बट उसके घर में एक सोफ़ा भी नहीं था. वो लेबर सुपरिंटेंडेंट ऑफिसर है. ठीक है. और आपको पता ही है कि उससे छोटे छोटे ऑफिसर्स का लाइफ स्टाइल क्या होता है. दिस तो द क्वेश्चन इज दैट कि चैलेंज, लेट्स से दिस इज हाउ द मोरल प्रॉब्लम इफ यू थिंक. आवर सोसाइटी ऑल्सो डज नॉट एक्सेप्ट. सोसाइटी को भी क्या चाहिए? जो बड़ा चीज़ दिखना चाहिए, बिजनेस बड़ा होना चाहिए, बिजनेस सक्सेस दिखना चाहिए, चाहे आप मैनिपुलेट करके ही चला रहे हैं. ये जो हमारे सोसाइटी में बिजनेस छोटा है, आप छोटे हैं, आपका तामझाम छोटा है, तो वो सोसाइटी को अट्रैक्ट नहीं करता है. दिस इन आवर सोसाइटी, लेट्स से सोसाइटी इज ऑल्सो लाइक दिस. This kind of situations, you know that, you know this, and that is how all these problems. So Lokpal can be effective only when you find some officers coming to that एक्टिविज्म, बट वो भी मैं नहीं एक्सपेक्ट करता, इसलिए कि कैग वन मेंबर है. इलेक्शन कमीशन वाज आल्सो वन मेंबर व्हेन टीएन सेशन वाज. जब टीएन सेशन ने एक्टिविज्म किया तो उन्होंने 3 मेंबर बनाया, सो डैट कि टू रिड्यूस हिज राइट एक्टिविज्म. दिस ये तो 8 मेंबर है, तो इन 8 मेंबर्स आई एक्सपेक्ट दैट कि इट्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू शो एक्टिविज्म. हालांकि वो सारे हाफ जुडिशियल मेंबर्स हैं. This way, but that is what let's say. So we'll finish here this here. Then तो इसी से अंदाज़ा लगा लो आपको. We told you CBI, we have told you CVC, we have told you Lokpal. The formal system of accountability is how strong. That's why we say कि anti-corruption institutions are not necessarily anti-corruption oriented or effective, right? Now we have already taught you parliament ki how parliament is effective. We have already taught you about executive also to some extent. What is how executive is, you can say this. So then ultimately how you are going to uphold accountability? When parliament is not functioning that effectively, executive has 46% discriminalization of this, that, and then you have CVC, CBI, Lokpal, they are not that way. So then that is how you think that you need to create other institutions. So you start creating RTI, citizen charter, social audit, e-governance, whistleblowing, we start talking other things. This, that way. So other reforms have been taken up, including CAG also will teach कि how CAG is the traditional institution. अब जब ये सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन इतने इफेक्टिव नहीं है तो NHRC क्या कर लेगा? This, that is how you understand. So what NHRC can do? If Lokpal like institution of that stature is not effective, then can NHRC protect human rights? This, it's very difficult. This, that we can consider, and then let's say that we have other institutions. This is what we can say. Anyhow, one more a bit is, let's see how to synchronize the role relation between subtopic, how to synchronize relationship between how to synchronize relationship between Lokpal, CVC and CBI. Lokpal, CVC and CBI. Change paragraph. As of now, they have overlapping relations. As of now, they have overlapping relations. They have overlapping relations. Overlapping relations. Okay. As all the three have jurisdiction over Prevention of Corruption Act. Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. Right? So try to understand that they have overlapping relations. Overlapping relation. This overlapping relation because of prevention of how? The Lokpal and let's say CVC. this. So both can give CBI order. They can power of superintendence, this. They have power of superintendence. Power of superintendence means they have power to order CBI inquiry. They have power to order CBI inquiry. Right. So when they have power to order CBI inquiry, let's say, so it can be overlapping, because it can also order CBI inquiry, it can also, it has dual head, CBI can have, right. And many times it is anti-corruption, let's say it could call prevention of Corruption Act. It is under Prevention of Corruption Act, this. So when it is under Prevention of Corruption Act, plus alternatively, देखो CBI भी तो 3 wings है इसके अंदर, 3 wings. One is, let's say, economic offense, special crime, and anti-corruption. So don't you think that, let's say that here citizen has filed a complaint to Lokpal against any corruption, and in the same case CBI is taking itself investigation. Possibility is there, because CBI has suo motu power. It has suo motu power. The possibility can be that suppose there is any corruption, and that corruption someone has filed a complaint before Lokpal, and then CBI is also, since it has suo motu power, it can also take simultaneous investigation, and they may not be aware of each other, right. And it has director investigation, director prosecution, है. तो आपको पता है पास्ट में ये सब हो चुका है, राइट. सीबीआई और आईबी के बीच, मुंबई और इशरत एनकाउंटर गुजरात, राइट. तो इशरत एनकाउंटर वाले केस में 3 एजेंसी, देयर वर 3 एजेंसी रीचिंग देयर, एंड वंस इन मुंबई, लेट्स से दैट कि इंटेलिजेंस, लेट्स से समवन वाज एन इन्फॉर्मर ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस, एंड दैट इन्फॉर्मर इज अरेस्टेड बाय पुलिस और सीबीआई. ठीक है, ऐसा हुआ है. तो वो तो मान लो, चलो 1-2 केसेस ऐसे हो सकते हैं, ठीक है. बट लेट्स से कि यू हैव एंटी करप्शन, दैट इज हाउ इट हैज आल्सो पावर फॉर एंटी करप्शन. अब मान लो दोनों ने इन्वेस्टिगेशन शुरू कर दिया, स्टॉप कौन करेगा? Because both are parallel institution. Lokpal does not have jurisdiction on CBI. It can only order inquiry. Lokpal does not have power to tell to CBI what to do and what not to do. This you should know. Lokpal does not have supervisory power on CBI. It has just power of superintendence, that it can tell to CBI to conduct investigation. And that also as long as you do not have your investigation being operationalized. Once you have investigation and director investigation, so that CBI is not needed. Now, CVC has also vigilance role, anti-corruption. It is not only related to CBI. CVC also independently conduct vigilance. This. So once they have power of this, then CVC has also jurisdiction on, CBI has also jurisdiction on, Lokpal has also jurisdiction on this. That is how. So then matter arose when Lokpal was created, ki how to synchronize their role. Right? A parliamentary standing committee was given this task and it recommended how to synchronize, which has not been implemented. This. So basically, let's say that ki it is a very radical recommendation which is difficult to राइट अब या तो दो तरीका है, इसके अपने तरीके हैं, या तो आप एंटी करप्शन सीबीआई से लोकपाल में लेके आओ, तो फिर सीबीआई का रेलेवेंस क्या रह जाएगा, राइट, इंस्टीट्यूशनल क्राइसिस, राइट, तो सीबीआई बोलेगा कि हमारा पावर तो आपने ग्रेजुअली ले ही लिया, एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट को दे दिया, ठीक है, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग केस वी हैव गिवन टू एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट, ठीक है, नाउ एंड लेट्स से कि एंटी करप्शन यू टेक अवे, तो व्हाट इट विल डू देन, इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंस एंड स्पेशल क्राइम, दिस दैट चैलेंज, तो व्हाई नॉट वी कैन ब्रिंग सीबीआई अंडर लोकपाल, this is to know. If you bring CBI under Lokpal, then let's say that it can be synchronized, which is very difficult to bring. Right. But Parliamentary Standing Committee recommended this Lokpal, and then it should have control over CBI. And is it possible? They will not like. सो दैट इज चैलेंज इन पीसमिल रिफॉर्म, जिसको बोलते हैं कि जब आप कैजुअली धीरे धीरे रिफॉर्म करते हैं, व्हेन यू डू रिफॉर्म ग्रेजुअली, देन दैट आल्सो बिकम्स ए प्रॉब्लम, यस, बिकॉज देन इट गेट्स इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज्ड. अब सीवीसी इज इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज्ड, इट डज नॉट वांट टू लूज इट्स, लेट्स से पावर, सीबीआई डज नॉट वांट टू लूज इट्स पावर. This, in that way, let's say कि even if you create three institutions, they have overlapping and they are not going to effectively tackle corruption. This, it demands radical restructuring, which demand again political will, right? And so far it has not happened. So just we can only tell you that what should happen, right? Let's write on this. A Parliamentary Standing Committee recommended a new architecture for synchronizing their relationship, wherein both CBI and CVC should work. Both CBI and CVC should work under control of Lokpal. However, it is very radical recommendation, and it is difficult to implement due to institutional challenges.